All right, this is my persuasive speech, and here is my lovely audience. And let's get started. Children of public schools should wear uniforms because it helps the schools both educationally and socially. Many families, teachers, and community members believe that uniforms may control negative behaviors associated with student dress code, such as truancy, tardiness, gang-related activity, school violence, and bullying. Higher levels of academic achievement are consistent with the high standards of educational institutions, and uniforms hold public schools to that higher standard. The top reason for requiring uniforms in public schools is that it reduces bullying. Bullying is 90% based off of your appearance. So by eliminating your appearance, by making everybody look the same, you almost eliminate bullying straight out the gate. Another thing that your appearance gives you is a label. So by eliminating these labels such as a nerd or a jock or a goth or being rich or being poor just by your appearance, you also feed back into eliminating bullying. Uniforms allow students and schools to focus more on education than on appearance. Once you're done worrying about what you're wearing and what other people think you look like, there's only one thing left to focus on, and that's your education. Uniforms also reduce stress among parents and among schools. Parents no longer have to worry about what their kid's wearing or if it's in style. They just have to worry about the education their kids are receiving from these schools that are no longer worried about what people are wearing and what message it might send. If it sends the wrong message, they can focus 100% on giving these kids a great education. And lastly, uniforms increase students' safety and decreases crime and violence in schools. By reducing your parents' stress, you reduce probably their biggest stressor, which is money. In 2013, a study came out that uniforms cost around $150 for 4 sets of uniforms. Now, most parents only buy just the 2 sets, a set of shirts and a set of pants, reducing this cost by about half, between $75 and $80. The cost of a pair of stylish shoes today is close, if not more than that. This allows parents to save money, and it allows for the children to focus on the main reason why they're in school, which is to get an education, not to impress their peers with their latest fashions or latest styles. To touch on the school safety aspect, let's take a look at Long Beach, California. In 1994, Long Beach was in the public eye because of their uniform policy that they mandated district-wide. Now, after just 2 years of this policy, Long Beach put together a combination of numbers that they pulled from their uniform study. Reports of assault and battery in the district schools decreased by 34%. Assault with a deadly weapon dropped by 50%. Fighting incidents went down by 51%, and sex offenses were cut by 74%. Robbery within the school districts dropped by 65%, and possession of weapons or weapon lookalikes decreased by 52%. Possession of drugs went down by 69%, and vandalism was lowered by 18%. This is just in 2 years of a district-wide mandatory uniform policy. So you can see quickly why, after that, so many schools across the state began enforcing dress codes or uniform policies. Now, 15 years later, in 2012, a study came out done by National Education Board that the top United States cities began enforcing this code. And the biggest reason these cities began enforcing this code was because uniforms eliminated labels that are given to students. Labels cannot exist if every child looks identical. Uniforms put an end to bullying in these schools and reduce the effects of social disparity. Just to give you some numbers, in 2012, 57% of schools across the nation began enforcing a strict dress code. 19% of schools across the nation began enforcing uniform policies, leaving just 24% to free dress or wear whatever you would like to school. And these numbers were a significant increase to just 2 decades before, when Long Beach mandated their pretty much first ever seen district-wide uniform policy. Uniforms may control negative behaviors associated with student dress code, but they mostly control what these students are doing towards each other and against each other based on appearance. And I know it makes it seem shallow, but that's mainly what kids these days are focusing on under first impressions. I know myself, growing up with a brother, going through school and having to pick out and choose what we wore every day. To be honest, it was a challenge, because you didn't want to be the guy that was joked because his pants had a hole in them, or because your shirt was out of style. And my brother and I both went through that. And I know for a fact that my mother, being a single mom who supported myself and my brother and herself, I know that uniforms would have put a lot less stress on her financially by deeming us set aside $300 every year for uniforms, instead of the multitudes of money she spent on the newest shirt or the newest shoes or the newest anything for us to fit in and feel like we belonged at school because everybody else was wearing it. These uniforms and these dress codes have popped up around the nation, and I sincerely see an increase going forward in 2016, when cyberbullying and just bullying in period is at an all-time high and at an all-time public eye. So I sincerely believe that you should hop on the train, get with uniforms, and start preaching to your school districts that this is what we need to be doing, and it's for the safety of kids that we were not too long ago. Thank you.